You know, it feels like every time I'm doing one of these things, it's Tuesday. Probably because this is your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, guys. I seem to do this every single time. Everything comes out real good, except for one spot. Look at that guy. Well, you don't want to sand it all down because, well, it's very time consuming. And you screw up everything around it. Learned this trick actually in the Navy when I was painting support equipment for aircraft. Little piece of tape. Hopefully it works, but I waited a little bit too long, but I took the little pools off on the end there, right? You want to get this a little bit before when I did. So, if that makes sense, right? Pulling it out. It's just primer, right? But I'm telling you, that trick works. Just got to catch it a little bit sooner than I did. So like I said, guys, that was a little trick I learned back in the Navy. Circa 1996, 7-ish, 97 probably. Stationed back on the USS Tarawa, the Eagle of the Sea, as it was known to be called. So I was in what they call the Aircraft Intermediate Maintenance Department, right? You guys know you're getting a little story with this, obviously. Yeah, so I was stationed down, I was worked down there, and like when we were out to sea, and the planes would break like hydraulic lines, or worked in a hydraulic shop. They'd send stuff down there, and I'd make lines and tubes and rebuild a couple actuators here and there. That was about it. It wasn't like being on a carrier. It was like a baby carrier, right? So it didn't have as much going on for us anyways. A lot of other stuff going on. But, so when we pull into port, I don't have anything to do, right? And they know this, so they're going to try and get work out of you. So my chief comes to me, hey, do you have a reliable source of transportation? At the time, it was a 96 Dodge Neon. So reliable, I was being real liberal with that term, I promise you that. But I said, yeah. He said, we're going to send you to North Island. Do you know how to paint stuff? Yeah, I do. All right, we're going to send you over there to paint stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm painting, whatever. So they got all the support equipment, right? You know, the tow tractors, the tow dollies, tow bars, and all the hydraulic stands, and all the bigger things that, that are on the boat. But when you pull into like after your deployment, they rehab all that stuff. And I was lucky enough to be picked the guy to go work at the paint booth and repaint stuff. So it was me and a couple other guys, and none of us really we're all backyard mechanic painters, right? There was me, I was a hydraulics dude, we had an ordnance guy and an SE guy. And none of us were like painting final finish qual or anything like that. But we knew it was a good deal, so we were gonna figure it out, right? And we did. So there was 2 paint booths there. There was a sandblasting. That was, it was a huge sandblasting. Like you put a couple cars inside this thing, right? So we blast everything. We prime, we paint, and all that. And it was great. I learned a lot. And one of the things that I learned was that little trick with the tape. And it was kind of funny because there was 2 guys that worked there. They didn't do nothing, right? They just hung out and like, yeah, you guys work on whatever you got to work on. Then they just ordered the paint. They were 2 E5s, and we were like E3s. So we're like, all right. And the one dude that like finally came out of his office, and he's like, yeah, man, I had a run. He's like, let me show you how to get rid of that. And I was like, this guy, finally he's gonna do something right. And he pulled out a piece of tape, and he pulled that thing off perfect. And he's like, all right, go ahead, grab the gun and shoot it again. I did, and it was perfect. he had the right timing was the key, because you see when I was doing the truck, I was a little bit late on it, right? I didn't catch it right away. When I walked back around, I was like, ah, man. So by then it was already, it's, little piss cans I use there. Obviously, it was already starting to dry. So, had I caught a little bit sooner, the whole run would have come out. But you can see, just a little bulb came out, right? The little pool of paint there. And because it was just primer, I kind of just, and it covered it up fine. If I was putting down a nice paint job and I caught it at that stage, it wouldn't have been a nice paint job. I would have been sanding that out, So, timing, right? You gotta. If I was paying more attention as I was going along, I'd have caught it sooner. You don't want to hit it right away, because then you pull off all the paint around it too, and it's not good. It causes a problem. So you let it sit just a minute, like kind of start to set up, and then just kind of like walk it off of there, and it'll pull the run right off. Shoot over it, it's like it never happened. So just a little trick that I learned. Figure I'd pass on to you guys. Hopefully you never need it. It seems I use it more than I should have to. I swear, every time I put any kind of paint on anything, I get one. It's like everything else is good, it's just a one. If I paid more attention, I don't know if it's like towards the end I get cocky, or if I'm just trying to rush it. Maybe it's not that great of a painter, I don't know. Could be any of those things, any of the above, maybe all of the above, who knows, right? But there you go, little tidbit, little trick. Hopefully you never got to use it, and if you do got to use it, hopefully you do better than I did in this little example here. Thanks for watching, guys.